Have you been experiencing a shift in your sensitivity levels? If so, you're not alone. We're heading into a massive frequency shift, and it's all coming to a head during the 12/12 new moon portal, which is the last new moon of 2023. Tune in with me and get ready to receive angel guidance for the new moon cycle spanning from December 12th through 25th, 2023. On December 12th, we have a new moon in hopeful, optimistic, and expansive Sagittarius, which is preparing us for a new beginning that will carry us all the way into 2024. Now, in the days leading up to this new moon, there are several cosmic energy shifts that are triggering heightened psychic and emotional sensitivity, helping us break down illusions and see through limitations to gain higher insight and clarity for our lives. One of these shifts is that on December 6th, Neptune, the planet of dreams, illusions, and psychic sensitivity, went direct. Then, on the new moon, the moon will be squaring off with Neptune, bringing this dreamy, emotional, mystical energy high into prominence. Now, we live in a dual world, meaning that there are two sides to every energy. So the beneficial side of this high Neptune-infused energy atmosphere is psychic awakening, increased creativity, and the rise of mystical insights. However, on the flip side, this energy can also create fogginess, confusion, or heaviness related to sensitivity overwhelm. No matter what you feel around this new moon, trust that it is all part of what is helping you to forge your new beginning and prepare for a new year and new cycle of life. Which brings us to the powerful 12/12 energy portal forming around this new moon. The date of the new moon happens to fall on the 12th day of the 12th month of this year. In numerology, 12 is a number that carries the vibration of completion, full cycles, and higher perspective that leads to higher states of consciousness. 12 is an archetypal number that symbolizes each of the major facets of human consciousness and human experience. For example, we see this expressed in the 12 signs of the zodiac in Western astrology, the 12 months of the year, the 12 apostles of the Christ, the 12 minor prophets of the Old Testament, the 12 archetypes of Jungian psychology, the 12 tribes of Israel in Judaism, the 12 links of causation in the Buddhist view of the wheel of samsara, the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac, and so on. There are so many examples across religion, mythology, psychology, and even fairy tales in which the number 12 symbolizes or references a full and complete view of reality, a semblance of completion, order, harmony, and higher understanding. Our new moon is powerfully imbued with this energy and symbolism of 12, and that it is a time for reaching personal completion, higher understanding of your life, coming full cycle with personal spiritual lessons, and harmonizing with your higher self. In numerology, 12 is also a number that represents transcending the limits of the physical realm and rising into the spirit realm, which is particularly compounded by the new moon in Sagittarius because Sagittarius is a mutable sign. Mutable means that we're in a malleable, flexible state that allows us to break down density and move with the flow of the universe rather than trying to resist against it. A Sagittarian new moon like this one is expanding whatever is prevailing in this time in your life, and usually in a way that is very hopeful and optimistic. So when you combine that expansive, hopeful new beginning with the 12/12 energy of higher perspective and complete full spectrum order and understanding, you have a potent opportunity to grow personally and shift your timeline to align with your soul's higher destiny and your highest divine good. Again, with this highly active Neptune energy in the mix as well, this means you may be getting big psychic downloads in the midst of this 12/12 portal. So pay attention to the signs and synchronicities that show up in your life and open your heart and mind to any psychic downloads or messages from the spirit world that are ready to come through for you. You may receive powerful insights that give you a clearer, more unified picture of your whole life. You may receive messages or energy upgrades during your dreams, or even meet a soulmate who is meant to bring an important lesson or message into your life. Now, another very important energy shift occurring directly on this 12/12 new moon is that Mercury will be stationing retrograde. Mercury is the planet that represents communication and can also encompass the energies surrounding technology and travel. When Mercury goes into retrograde motion, or in other words, when the planet appears to be moving backwards from our vantage point, it symbolizes a potential for a slowdown around communication, technology, and travel. And though Mercury retrograde tends to get a bad rap, it's not necessarily a bad thing. In this case, we're being guided to slow down and breathe for a reason. We're being guided to pause, tune inwards to receive insight and wisdom, then gather our focus and strength so that we may prepare for a powerful surge of energy that will occur on January 1st of 2024 when Mercury goes direct. At that time, every planet aside from Uranus will be direct, symbolizing a surging ahead for the new year. Then in late January, Uranus will also be moving direct, lending even more power and momentum to the flow of events in early 2024. For now, enjoy the slowdown and pause. Lean into it and allow that slower flow to guide you deeper into the realms of your spirit for wisdom, healing, and self-replenishment. Now, one final cosmic energy shift that we have to mention is that towards the end of this new moon cycle on December 21st, we have the solstice. This solstice happens to coincide with some amazing energy shifts that will support a personal rebirth of your inner guiding light and a conscious reawakening of your divine life's purpose. I'll be going into tons of deeper detail regarding the energy shifts of the solstice in my next solstice energy update, so stay tuned to my channel for that upcoming video. With that supercharged cosmic backdrop in mind, let's now delve into the angels' 3 big messages for you for this new moon cycle. All 3 of the angel messages I'm about to share will likely apply to your path in some way, but if you'd like to get a sense of which message is going to be your leading theme or lesson, then think of a number 1, 2, or 3 now. Whichever number you're drawn to the most will represent your leading angel message. Ready? Let's dive in. The angel's first message for this 12/12 new moon portal is all about raising your frequency. Around this new moon, there is a strong likelihood to experience a dissolving of old density. This can translate to a dissolution of old heavy emotions, stuck patterns, illusions, or blockages. By the way, the process of that dissolution may not be the most comfortable. It's possible to feel an increase in sensitivity, purging past painful emotions, or a general need to get quiet, retreat, and rest as aspects of the old you dissolve and release. As past density or heaviness dissolves and clears, you may find yourself transcending some seeming limitation from the past. Anytime you transcend limits and free yourself of blockages, your frequency rises to a higher vibration. Our natural state of consciousness and vibration is pure harmony and union with the divine creator source. The divine creator source is a mysterious and unimaginably powerful outpouring of love. So when we break down past heaviness, we're clearing out that which previously seemed to block the flow of love in our consciousness so that we may channel love's incredible power and intelligence to a higher degree. As I mentioned earlier in this video, this time has big potential to be filled with psychic awakening, which is compounded by this big shift into a higher vibration. According to the angels, many people will be experiencing light body shifts, wherein the divine light and electromagnetic energy that flows from your being rises to a higher and more complexly harmonious spiritual vibration. The angels want you to know that this may feel like when you jumpstart a car. There's a potential for a big energy surge as you rise into a higher spectrum of conscious frequencies. And by the way, this energy surge into a higher vibration has big potential to occur anytime from now through early January of 2024. To support yourself through this frequency shift, the angels are inviting you to connect closely with the element of water. Water is one of the elements that is most permeable and malleable to the spiritual force of consciousness. In other words, it is a wide open, pure container for consciousness and easily magnifies, grounds, and expands spiritual vibrations. To integrate the frequency shift more easily, Drink more purified water, bonus points if you pray over that water or place a conscious intention into it before drinking. Soak in sea salt baths or hot springs, or you can swim or spend time near lakes, rivers, and oceans. Large bodies of water, such as the Great Lakes or the oceans, are especially powerful containers for high spiritual vibrations. So if you happen to live near one of these bodies of water or have the opportunity to travel to them, go. Your angels want you to know that you can even mentally send your prayers and highest intentions into these waters, and they will not only hold space for your frequency rising, but also share that rising frequency with others so that the whole planet can nudge into greater harmony with it. The angel's second message for the 12/12 new moon cycle is all about the rise of future visions. Now, with this powerful flood of Neptune energy that will actually be with us throughout most of this new moon cycle, we'll be receiving psychic messages and insights that will lend to our seeing higher visions of the future. Since this new moon is in idealistic Sagittarius, which is my sun sign, by the way, the future visions you're going to glimpse will likely have an idealistic, positive spin on them. This is because Spirit is going to be showing you your highest possible timeline. In other words, you're being divinely guided to glimpse the highest possible flow of events that will express your highest divine good and help you to fulfill your soul's destiny or highest intentions for this lifetime. The angels want you to know that you are also highly likely to better see and understand your divine life's purpose and passions. In other words, you'll be getting clearer in your understanding of what brings true joy and harmony in your life and how to nurture that. Now, the high flow of psychic Neptune energy peaks on December 6th, 12th, and 16th, so keep your eye on what ideas or insights rise into your awareness on those dates. In addition to the Neptunian energy, we also have the new moon conjunct the fiery go-getter planet Mars. Mars can sometimes be like a crusader, charging into action in support of a passionate belief. In this case, that crusading go-getter energy may light a fire of inspiration for you to take action to fulfill your divine life's purpose. This has a huge potential to coincide with a feeling of compassion for others, inspiration to do charity, outreach, or philanthropy, and the drive to dissolve division and separation between hearts and minds. Follow where your passions lead you and call on the angels to help guide you every step of the way. The angels' third and final message for the 12/12 new moon portal is about spiritual discipline. As your frequency rises into a higher vibration, and therefore a higher consciousness of love, you may be filled with the realization that this vibration needs a protective container. That's where spiritual discipline comes into play. Spiritual discipline can encompass practices that awaken our divine masculine within, practices such as stillness meditation, or really any other practice that requires devotion, discipline, and the honing of your strength. That spiritual discipline creates a strong container and can hold space for the brilliant, life-giving divine feminine energy within you, including all the gifts that this new high vibration will be bringing into your life. The feminine energy within you, that artist or poet of inspiration and wild love and passion, is an expert at birthing the ethereal mysteries of the divine into something tangible in the physical world. But that part of you needs a disciplined protective container to realize its amazing potential. Let's go back to stillness meditation as an example of how a spiritual discipline can make way for something miraculous. When you practice stillness meditation, you're learning to expand your awareness within the stillness that sprawls out infinitely before, after, and between your thoughts. Each time a thought pops up, in stillness meditation, you would practice humbly releasing attachment to that thought and allowing it to clear so that your thoughts no longer have control over your consciousness. As you practice this, you can become stronger and stronger at holding states of stillness. And in that stillness, you have the power to observe God's presence, to become aware of the great mysterious miracle of existence itself. Without the disciplined practice, you may not access that awareness. Now, let's give another example. Love requires discipline too. In order to maintain a conscious state of love sustainably, you need to discipline yourself to hold faith, trust, and acceptance no matter what challenging conditions you might meet on life's path. With disciplined practice, you can anchor love into even the most challenging moments of your life. Or similarly, in a love relationship, you need the discipline of structured boundaries. For example, the container that can hold and protect love's presence within a relationship might include proactively sharing values, such as honesty or integrity. In this case, one might hold up boundaries around that which could potentially harm those values of honesty or integrity to protect them. So during this moon cycle, you're being guided to hold a strong, protective, disciplined container around what you value the most. This will bring both spiritual empowerment and wisdom. Now, this is especially compounded by the fact that Saturn, the planet of discipline, is conjunct the fixed royal star of Persia, Fomalhaut. Fomalhaut is the star of Archangel Gabriel, the angel of communication and also of spiritual teaching. This is all occurring while Neptune will be square to the galactic center and the dwarf planet Vata, which represents the birthing of a new Earth. All of these alignments combined are showing us that through spiritual discipline, spiritual awakening occurs, and that spiritual awakening is connected to the birthing of a new Earth. To receive guidance in this call towards spiritual discipline and wisdom, I recommend calling upon Archangel Gabriel during the new moon. Invite Gabriel to guide you and teach you on your path ahead. Then open up your heart and spirit to Gabriel through spiritual practices such as prayer and meditation. In doing so, you may find that you receive big spiritual messages, downloads, and activations of your spiritual gifts, including telepathy, channeling, or healing gifts. Gabriel may also guide you to visit sacred places on the earth that can help you to activate the divine wisdom and power within you. There are certain locations on the earth that act almost like Mother Earth's chakras, and in these locations there is big potential to level up and grow in your awakening. If there's a certain place that has been calling to you, trust that message and ask Gabriel to guide you to the opportunity to visit that place. If you'd like deep and soul-shifting guidance on your ascension path, then I have a coaching program for that called Angelic Ascension, which is a 9-month container for massive spiritual training and healing. If that interests you, go ahead and click the link in the description below to put your name on the waiting list so that you can apply to join the program in the new year. I also left links for you to practice my stillness meditation and faith meditation to help supercharge your connection to these beautiful 12/12 new moon portal energies. Thank you so much for tuning in and for liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. If you enjoyed these messages, then hitting the like button is a wonderful gift because it will help other lightworkers find these messages in YouTube's algorithm too. I am so honored to be connected with you and grateful for your shining your light in this world. Thanks again, and know until next time that you are so loved and so very blessed. Bye!